Meeting of these commissioners. And Ron, we take it to the pledge of allegiance.
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the draft minutes of the regular meeting of November 8, 2023?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'll abstain because I wasn't here.
Motion carried.
I abstain as well.
Motion still carried. Thank you. The first matter on the agenda is the Ravis family donation. Hector, would you like to talk about that?
Sure. On November 14th of 2023, Mr. William Ravis made a very generous donation to the Fairfield Police Foundation in the amount of $85,000 to be utilized for traffic safety equipment in honor of Megan Ravis, his daughter-in-law. And he is walking in as we speak. So.
Mr. Ravis.
Mr. Ravis?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you all. I got a cold. What?
That's fine. Be seated.
Were you what?
Be seated, please.
Okay, you will. How you doing?
So as I was saying, on November 14th, 2023, Mr. Ravis made a very generous donation to the Fairfield Police Foundation in the amount of $85,000 in honor of his beautiful daughter-in-law, Megan Ravis, who passed away in June of 2023 as a pedestrian struck in a motor vehicle accident on Reading Road. With that $85,000, we're going to purchase traffic safety equipment in her honor to help prevent another tragic death throughout the town. So I'd like to thank and honor Mr. Ravis for his very kind and generous donation.
Would you like to say something, Mr. Ravis?
Yeah, I mean, this way or I look this way?
That way.
Good, I'll look both ways. No, we've had, tragedy with Megan walking on the street, second one in 3 years. And our family has been through a lot here, but the town has been like terrific. The police department, Board of Selectmen, has been absolutely, the caring of the community is really special. Peter and your group have been just terrific. I've known Peter for 70 years, maybe. We went to school together here. So, what you're doing for the town and how you're handling yourselves in this town is admirable. And I have a great deal of just good feelings about the people in this town who are running this town. So, the donation was mainly for my, basically, endorsement of what you're doing here. And anything more that I can do to help, I'm here. So with that.
And we know you participated in many meetings with the First Selectman's office, with the Police Commission, with Hector individually, and we can't thank you enough for the contribution you've made and the input that you've brought us to with respect to increasing the safety issues that confront the town of Fairfield on many of these roads.
Well, Greenfield Hill needs to be addressed more. I mean, Hector is doing a terrific job. Bill Fitzgerald, he's another good one too. He's done a terrific job, and the rumble strips that have been placed into the wet lines are just terrific in terms of Reading Road. But I would actually throw the net a little further for all of Greenfield Hill, and I know you're looking at that, but you've got sidewalks everywhere else in town. You don't have anything up there to help people who are walking all the time, including myself. Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week I'll be walking with my buddies, and it's dangerous. So you got to watch it. So the more you can do in Greenfield to help the safety of the people, the more I mean, you're gonna do it, I know you're gonna do it, but it's needed up there. So.
Thank you very much.
All right, Peter.
Thank you.
Good enough, thank you very much.
Thank you. Shake your hand or?
I got a cold.
No glasses.
You want me to give a cold to everybody?
No.
We just want, can we do a fist bump?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay, guys, fist bump.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Hector, thank you for your input on this. Commendable. Yes, we'll make a motion, please, that we accept the donation by Mr. Davis of $85,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It carries. Thank you. Next, swearing in of Animal Control Officer Stacy Raymer. Stacy.
Chief, if you don't mind, I'll say a few words about Stacy, and then...
Sure, please.
Commissioner, if you don't mind, I'll just say a few words about Stacy, and then we can move on with the swearing in. So today we'll be swearing in our full-time Animal Control Officer, Stacy Raymer. And Stacy comes to us from a wealth of experience. She is going to be a full-time Assistant Animal Control Officer to Paul Miller, giving Paul a little bit of breath of fresh air and an assistance that he much so deserves. Stacy comes to us from a family of dedicated to public service, with her father being serving with the Greenwich Fire Department for over 25 years. She's previously worked for a animal adoption rescue group called PAWS for 5 years, and she's also worked, like I said, with the town of Greenwich for 15 years as an animal control officer. She's also a first lieutenant platoon leader with the 2nd Company Governor's Horse Guard for the state of Connecticut. As you guys know, the Governor's Horse Guard has been around since 1808 and is one of the oldest continuous service cavalry units in the United States. Today, she'll have her badge pinned on her by her 11-year-old son, Lucky.
Right.
I think I'm going to go right over there. Commissioner, here's your, hold this for you.
Thank you.
You want?
Lucky? Sure.
Where do you want me?
Thank you. Right up in there. Raise your right hand. Will you tell me to?
Do you have the badge?
You don't have the ring? Hold on. We'll let you know when.
Okay. Do you, Stacy Raymer, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Connecticut, so long as you remain a citizen thereof? And will you faithfully discharge, according to law, the duties of animal control officer? Thank you.
Congratulations.
You now place the badge on your mom's shirt. Oh. Oh, yeah.
I know. That's what we used to do.
Their first aid kit.
That's good for the Saturday, huh? Perfect. And Stacy, I'm gonna present to you here, look. Lucky. No, you can go. And I'm gonna present you the certificate from the police department as animal control officer for the town of Fairfield. I want to thank you for your service, thank you for your duty to your country and to the horse guard and to everything else that you do for the government.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, straight ahead. You guys ready? Lucky, look right here, bud. Good move. Nice.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
Where's it?
I'm all yours.
First job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Paul, take care.
Paul, see ya. Thank you, Paul.
We'll get one deal.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Next, we're gonna move on to traffic surveys, and, Kevin will take us through the traffic surveys.
Sure. Traffic survey number 1, location Stilson Road at Mill Plain and Hirsch. The nature of the request, a traffic report for the site development plan of 2318 Mill Plain Road. The request is to add 2 chevron alignment signs, add a curve warning sign, clear the brush around the existing sign, restripe existing yellow line at the curve, which has already been completed. By whom? Patrick Polster, and the recommendation is to add the 2 left chevron alignment signs on the open space side of Stilton, in front of the Springer Glen, facing the roadway, and 1 right chevron alignment sign facing eastbound traffic on the same side of the roadway.
When Pat Holster is present, you can come forward.
I'm Patrick Polster from 115 Vernon Hill Road in Fairfield.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Do you want to just, to some extent, explain what we're doing?
Sure. So part of the site development plan of 2318 Mill Plain Road, there was a traffic study performed by Langen Engineering to confirm that the new road coming out onto Stilson met all the required sightline distances and traffic issues. And they took it a little further and thought that it would be good to recommend updating the signs that are there now to a more visible sign than what's currently on that corner. That's the corner as you come down the hill on Stilson, the horizontal curve. It was purely based on their recommendation. And if they think that's the right thing to do, we're totally on board with it and happy to do it if it's okay with you.
Any comments from the board?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Passes unanimously.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
I was surprised Phil Farley wasn't here for that, so.
Well, we went on, myself and Commissioner Stone went on the survey.
Okay, you saw it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, request number 2 is to install 3 no parking anytime from the first resident driveway on Fieldcrest Drive to Tungsten Hill Cutoff and opposite side of the road near a stop sign, a no parking sign to corner at an equal distance. Recommended or requested by Heather Robinson. The town recommendation is to install 3 no parking anytime from first resident driveway on Fieldcrest Road to Tungsten Hill Cutoff and opposite side of the road near stop sign and a no parking here to corner at an equal distance.
Is there anyone here to talk in favor of this? No one to oppose it? Does the board have any comments with respect to this agenda item? Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
So this road is adjacent to McKinley School, and myself and Commissioner Stone were out there, and it's very narrow, and when people park close to the intersection, you can't get cars through there, or fire trucks or any emergency vehicles.
Or buses, too.
Or buses, so we recommend going with the recommendation.
Any other comment?
Nope, he
Then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So, votes in favor, so it's granted, motion is granted. Survey number 3.
Survey number 3 is incomplete on my information. I don't see it, right?
Yeah, well, there was a Cedar Road, survey number 3, but we're, looking to have that tabled till next month.
Okay.
If we could, and you have to make a motion on that.
So we'll move to table item number 3, the Cedar Road and Bronson Road item, to the next meeting.
so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No, that's.
Motion carries.
That's very difficult over there. I mean, I ride my bike around that area, and it's hard, you know, so we need to do something.
So the motion has carried, will be heard at the next meeting. Nature, request, okay, new business, animal control donations. The Fairfield Animal Control received numerous donations for the care and well-being of sheltered animals totaling $654. If it's okay with members, I will go through all three of the donations, or four of the donations. Well, actually, let's move on that one first. All in favor of the donation for $654?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The second matter is Fairfield University noise variance. Is somebody going to talk about that?
We can talk about it real quick. I just wanted to make sure that that was on the agenda whenever we get noise variances per month from different venues in town. I'd like to add to the police commission so that they're aware of the applications that are being submitted and approved. So the noise variance was from Fairfield University on behalf of the Seagrape for the event of SantaCon, but the Seagrape didn't get much of the festivities there.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The Seagrape didn't get much of an attendance at the SantaCon event. Lantern Point did, but the Seagrape didn't get much because it was a ticketed event.
Well, we're going to discuss that later on?
We are.
Okay, great. The next matter is appointment of calendar year 2024 chair and secretary. So what do we have in place? I, as the sitting commissioner, would like to nominate Kevin as the next commissioner of the Fairfield Police Commission to take effective as of January 2024. And I'd further like to nominate our very capable secretary now, Charlene, as the secretary of the Police Commission. May I have a motion to support said?
I'll second your motion for Commissioner Kiley, Chair.
So let us do Commissioner Kiley first. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Now, Charlene, secondly, you want to make a motion?
Make a motion, we appoint Commissioner Lebo as secretary for 2024.
Second.
All in favor of said motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. So I'd like to congratulate both Mr. Kiley and Charlene as the new commissioner, chairman of the Police Commission and secretary of the Police Commission. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Charlene, the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you. And Commissioner Kiley, we would like to do the job there. You did a great job, and I know we've had some difficult times with what was going on in town, but you guys did an excellent job. Thank you so much for doing that.
Pleasure.
Good job.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a real pleasure to not only be here on this commission, but to serve as its chairman for 1 year. It really has been a pleasure. And I thank you for your support, the officers that are here, and your board. Next, discussion of Fairfield County mutual aid compact in the Blue Ed Plan.
So I'll touch on that a little bit. It's in your backups. The mutual aid compact was redeveloped by the Fairfield County Chiefs of Police Association in an effort to fulfill the statute for the mutual aid compact. And essentially, it just gets all the surrounding towns on board with a mutual agreement that in the event that we need assistance from other organizations, we are protected or empowered to assist those agencies that are requesting the assistance. That compact has been signed by the first selectman under the review of the town attorney. And it also, I guess, works closely with the Fairfield County Blue Plan, which I also included in your backups, and they kind of work mutually together.
Is there a big change between the existing plan and the new plan?
There's not, there's a new leadership in the Fairfield County Chiefs of Police Association, and they saw that that document was outdated and needed to be revisited by all the Fairfield County chiefs and the municipal leaders. So it was a good time because some of the other municipalities had changing leadership as well.
Thank you. Monthly report. Have the members of the commission reviewed the monthly report, and have you any questions regarding the same? All right.
I just want to state that 72 speeding tickets, congratulations, that was great. We had a lot of complaints about speeding in town. And $19,000 in parking tickets was great. So good job in comparison to your crew. Thank you. Captain Reserve, sorry.
Do you see an increase in erratic driving? I mean, I'm on the turnpike all the time, and I'm amazed at, I know it's not within your exclusive jurisdiction, but I'm just amazed at the craziness of the way people drive.
Yeah, the behavior has, for sure, been to the detriment of us at certain times, but we have, the officers are still out there doing some great enforcement out there, which is kind of curtailing the accidents, which is what our mission is, to lower the accident, history of our town. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, and we did get this packet today about SantaCon, and I know that Kevin has a couple of questions on it. I also reviewed it, and would you like to comment on the report that we received?
Sure. I'll just start, and then I'll turn it over to Captain Cole, who was down there and directed and assisted Lieutenant Mike Stahl, Acting Lieutenant Mike Stahl.
I'm sorry, Chief. Some of us did not get it. I don't think Kevin received copies.
SantaCon?
I don't have, it was an agenda.
Was it on the table, or was it in the email?
Email.
Oh, I left the office early. Okay.
Okay, well,
It's okay, we can,
well, we can really,
I just want to be looking for something.
Understood. We'll give a quick briefing, and then we'll make sure you get it so you can take
If
a
I
look.
have it,
Okay.
I have it right here. Read it out.
good.
So, Saturday we had SantaCon. We knew through not only Fairfield U intelligence, but also through our social media intelligence that the students were going to go on to have the event. The university tried to reduce the impact to the beach area by having some events not only on campus, but also a ticketed event at the Sea Grape, which they were hopeful that most of the students were going to just go to the Sea Grape, and it would be kind of an enclosed event inside the Sea Grape. I'll turn it over to Pete from here, who did most of the event staffing and operations and direction and control down at the beach.
In response to last year's SantaCon, we put together an operation plan. We collaborated with Fairfield U officials, fire department, Fairfield Public Safety, Lantern Point Association, DPW, aggressive trash cans, no parking signs, Parks and Rec, the barricades in case we need them, which we did. Lantern Point Association, which I think I said, and G-Force. So the goal of the operation plan was public safety, crowd management, alcohol and substance control, traffic and pedestrian safety, emergency response readiness, to maintain readiness to respond promptly and effectively to any medical emergencies, disturbances, or unforeseen incidents during the event. The timeline, people started showing up, the students started showing up at 9 o'clock in the morning. The biggest part. The largest group showed up at 11 o'clock, and probably most of the students showed up. There was not much attendance at the Sea Grip event, as the chief said, that they wanted to have. They just had it.
Why was that not more attended? I mean, it seems to me the emphasis was shifted to try to get, was there a attendance issue there from the standpoint of capacity?
They, were willing to sell up to 500 tickets. They even allowed the students to invite a guest if they wanted to. They only sold 100 tickets maybe. In fact, like 3 days before, they had 30 tickets sold, and that increased a couple days before. So they wanted to replicate what they did last year. They wanted to, recreate it, and they wanted to have it on the beach. Our staffing for the event, just go back. This is all in the after-action report. It lasted until about 6 o'clock. The height of it was about 3 o'clock. We had 2 officers hired in the morning from 7 to 11, so we were told they were going to start the party at 7 a.m. and started at about 9. We held 4 officers over from the midnight shift. For the event itself, we had, the hours for the officers that worked the event were from 11 to 7 at night. We had 1 lieutenant, 1 sergeant, and 8 officers. We had 4 patrol officers periodically throughout the day, or at least down there at all times. At about 1:30 during the day, we decided to order the entire day shift because of the influx of people in that area, so we had to order the day shift over to help manage the crowds. We had told the officers early in the day that they were directed to, to give out, make arrests, give out infractions, broken containers, littering, public urination. There was some enforcement taken early on, but as the crowds got larger, the priority shifted to keeping people safe, keeping the roads free and clear, so people who lived in the area that wanted to go out their regular day on Saturday and a beautiful Saturday, could get to where they needed to go. We had to keep the roads clear for ambulances to come down. So we kind of shifted our focus from enforcement to crowd control. We kept the pedestrians out the roadway. EMS transports, we had actually extra ambulances on staff that day. We worked with the fire department to make that happen. There were 17 total transports confirmed by AMR, 15 from alcohol and 2 from physical injuries to a couple of fights down there. Only 2 of those were actually Fairfield students of the 17 transports. For the majority of the day and night, the crowds are contained to private property and there were no major issues on the roadways. That's probably as a result of the police presence in the area. Attendees access public beaches and the right-of-ways via Penfield Beach, Lighthouse Point, and properties even further west than Fairfield Beach Road. Private security like G-Force was a significant presence on Fairfield Beach Road and around Lantern Point and Mountain Court. And the majority of the attendees were unfamiliar with the area or were uninvited guests from schools other than Fairfield University. There were kids from UMass, URI, all over Long Island, private schools in Canada, people who were there for tomorrow. While there was an initial period of congestion that marginally affected certain EMS responses, the prompt recognition of this issue allowed for a swift adaptation of the new traffic pattern. So basically, we shut down Reef Road southbound for a while and sent cars west on Fairfield Beach Road just to get the ambulances in and out. At about 3 o'clock is when the majority of all the EMS calls happen, right around the same time. That's what happens when we start at 9 in the morning. The active and visible police presence played a pivotal role in maintaining order and responding to calls for local officer service. This presence acted as a deterrent to potential disruptions and facilitated a swift response to incidents as they arose, contributing significantly to overall event management and safety. Just compared to last year, there was 22 EMS calls last year compared to 17 this year. 2 citations last year. There was a lot more this year. I think it was about 8 this year. So overall, I think we had enough resources down there that I think, obviously we could have more. There's a lot of people down there, but I think officers down there worked really hard all day to keep the roadways clear, to keep people safe. A big part of it is directing ambulances where to go. Most of the ambulance calls are on the beach, so when the ambulance showed up, the officers would direct the AMR crews who really, personally help us.
Captain Cavell, from the standpoint of the report that was printed out by Michael Stahl, Lieutenant Stahl, addresses the issue of the community impact on the last page, and it's rather noting that it wasn't such a good community impact situation, and especially when you pick up the newspaper on Sunday morning or Monday and see all the debris that was left behind that the homeowners had to collect and pick up. Number one, was Fairfield View helpful in picking up the debris left behind?
Well, I know in years past, when they have events down there, and I'm pretty sure they did do this on Sunday, probably after the reports came out, where the students get together at Lantern Point and they do a mass trash cleanup. Most of the littering was on private property, in the Lantern Point area. We had extra trash cans put on Fairfield Beach Road. And yeah, there's a lot of trash in Lantern Point. I'm not sure how much Fairfield you did. I know that my communications with Allison Berger, who's the assistant dean of students.
Well, she's the one that signed up for the noise.
She did, yes.
Ordinance various.
She deals with the students that live down there, and I know she highly encouraged trash pickup the next day. I'm not sure if
They were down there at about 9 a.m. the next morning, and they did I know Fairfield University was taking pictures of their students cleaning up the trash to illustrate the efforts made by them after the fact. Some of the complaints by the residents were that, a couple of tide cycles went through and there was a lot of trash in the water as a result of the tide cycles.
Would you comment or any suggestions on how to better coordinate the event next year? Because I'm sure they're gonna have a SantaCon next year.
So 3 times a year, we meet with all the stakeholders down at the beach. Fairfield University, Fire Department, the Fairfield Beach Road Association, Fairfield Beach Road Peninsula Association, Seagrape, Birth Court Association, anyone who has a stake in being down there or living down there, or they own a business down there. The Seagrape Inn, it also came this year for the first time as the new owner. Landlords. So it's a collaborative stakeholders meeting with probably 25 to 30.
25.
Yeah. And, we just try to work through the problems that we had the year before, identify ways that we can improve. Most of the effort, I would say, as far as operationally, comes from us. However, sometimes it opens up some understanding between 2 different entities. For example, maybe Birth Court Association isn't happy with the Seagrape staying open too late, but then when they realize, well, my bartenders have to clean up the property before they go home at night, oh, well, that's why you're staying, that it's open till 3 o'clock, and we didn't understand that. So it sometimes opens up a dialogue where it's not just pointing the finger at police. Sometimes it's, pointing the finger at others. I would also say that Fairfield University attends these meetings and probably takes most of the finger pointing. Aside from us, they take most of the finger pointing from the other representatives of the group. We get a lot out of those meetings, but it doesn't stop the events. I'll also add that the student BRAG, which is the beach, what does it stand for?
There's growing this brag.
Okay, so there's 2 student affiliations, and they participate in the stakeholders meeting, and then we have officers who work those patrols also involved in those stakeholders meetings. And like I said, it's just an effort to try to provide some understanding that everybody has their own challenges and everybody has their own level of tolerance, I guess. And, what might be very upsetting for one person, for example, garbage may not be upsetting for another person at all. And we kind of get these understandings in these meetings. And we also find ways to improve. For example, we get with DPW and we have them put trash cans out there. That's the effort that we make, because we have access to those resources and we can make quick work of it. Sometimes we get porta potties out there because people complain that the kids are urinating on their property or urinating on the beach where they shouldn't be. It's unsightly and inappropriate, so we'll coordinate and get porta potties out there. While it's not our job, we do it in an effort to, I guess, keep the community, you know, as a community caretaker function.
Thank you. Any comments?
Yeah. So G-Force, the security, were they helpful at all? Or?
So Lantern Point is a private entity, and they hire G-Force to secure that property because they are required to, as per the court injunction back in 2001. That's part of the rules of the injunction. Now, it doesn't say that they, what requirements the security is supposed to do. I know just from experience that they're trying to keep students that don't live there out. And I think that as long as Lantern Point Association is making an effort to provide identification that they live there to the students who do, or the tenants who live there, which I believe they do, provide security to make an effort to keep the students out, which they do on every event. It's just sometimes they get overwhelmed, and the student population that arrives down there is overtakes the security.
Question, Chief.
Yeah.
I was down there and I walked down and I saw like thousands of kids on the beach. What if that crowd had turned really ugly for some reason? There's no way to control that. How do you control that? You can't do it with 10 or 12 police officers.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the deal?
So we did have a couple of fights down there. You know, these kids, they get from different schools, and they have their rivalries, and you know, it's something that we expect. Captain Coble talked earlier. You know, we go down there in the beginning and try to produce some enforcement so that the students maybe get deterred from going down there. But the minute it starts getting where it's too big for us to handle, and we know that we are going to have to change our operations towards containment, we make that call and we kind of make it over the radio so all the officers are aware.
You
And
call
then,
that under shifting too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because when I was very happy with what I saw with the police officers. They were very cool, they were good. They did a good job, you know, and
Thank you.
you can't please everybody. I mean, the Fairfield Beach Road Association, I think they hang on every single item that they think can go wrong. But in my mind, everybody did a great job. I saw Officer Stevens.
Yeah.
He was down there, and he had to put a couple of kids in the what was that, the ambulance to take them off. They were a little drunk and stuff, and they kept very good control of the situations. But sometimes I look and I said, what if something lit this off? How would you ever react to it at times?
Yeah.
That's why you have the food plan.
Well, I was just gonna go back to that. You beat me to it.
What?
Yeah, so we have a mutual aid compact, and if it came down to where, as you said, something really got lit off, we would be able to call for mutual aid from our neighboring partners, and they would send officers down.
Bring that horse patrol from Bridgeport down?
Yeah. We've done it in the past.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise, I thought they did an exemplary job. I mean, everybody was right on their game.
Yeah, and I think we got, a lot of feedback on social media, kind of monitoring that, and I feel like, for the most part, it was all positive. Just my experience listening on the radio and what the officers briefed me on, I feel like, they did a very, very good job managing the crowd. They knew when to, take enforcement action in certain circumstances, and, limited their involvement in getting the weeds of things when it became where, we could be, overtaken if they really wanted to.
So, no, that's good. Chief?
Yes, sir.
I heard this past year that Clam Jam was a big improvement over previous years, including the trash ending up in barrels. And a lot of that is because the university sanctions Clam Jam. Is there any way we can have a requirement for a beach event that has to be sanctioned? To put some more burden on the university?
Sure, yeah.
So actually, in response to last year's SantaCon, Fairfield University did absorb this year's SantaCon, and SantaCon's moving forward as a Fairfield University sanctioned event, which is why they have their on-campus food trucks, all you can drink for free to try to keep everybody on campus. And then for anybody who wouldn't be inclined to stay on campus, they made the ticketed event down at the Seagrave. The problem is, there are two problems. I think a lot of the kids kind of like the idea of going against the sanctioned event because that's part of the fun, that they're doing something that's maybe frowned upon. And then the other big issue is the amount of SantaCon attendees that are not Fairfield University students. And just like last year, there were buses from other universities and even trains in from the Bronx of everybody who hears about this crazy, wild Fairfield SantaCon, and everybody wants to come here and be part of it. So that undermines Fairfield University's ability to really control the event, even though they have absorbed it as a sanctioned event. But if it is a sanctioned event, which I'm not sure if that's completely true or not from their perspective, if we treated it the same way as Clam Jam and put it at Penfield and controlled it and only let in students that were completely validated as Fairfield U students, kept everyone else out, because this group that was doing the security, maybe they did give it their best effort, but the numbers show that 15 of the 17 transports weren't Fairfield U kids, so they failed. They were unable to keep the non-students out. I mean, the numbers bear that fact. So how do we transition this? Because what happens with these parties, and I've been around long enough to know back in the 90s when Clam Jam continued to expand, this party's going to get bigger every year. I mean, these things don't go away and they don't get smaller. So how do we transition that party over to a more controlled environment and just, get away from this Lantern Point, Seagrave, type of activity? Can you do that?
Just to add in there, I think what some of the confusion, and maybe I'm wrong, but like when Clam Jam was moved to the pavilion and the university was sanctioning it there, they had a lot of control. Lantern Point is private property.
Yes.
So the sanctioned events were on campus and at the Seagrave. But the university can't sanction the party that was held on private property, and that G-Force is hired by Lantern Point Association, not the university.
Right.
So I think that's the big difference was, you had Clam Jam moved to the public property, sanctioned and controlled by Fairfield University and overseen by the police. They tried to sanction this event, but they did it on campus and at the Seagrave, and Lantern Point is beyond the university's control.
To understand Commissioner Millington's point, if, let's take Clam Jam for example, if we were unlucky enough that Clam Jam got the same notoriety that SantaCon gets, and we had this influx of non-Fairfield University students, they'd be turned away from Penfield Beach, but there's nothing stopping them from partying on Lantern Point, which is what happened with SantaCon. So they tried to keep the kids on campus so they could maintain that control, and they tried to have the ticketed event at the Seagrave so that they could turn away non-students. But the interest was to have the party on the beach at Lantern Point. And it's not just SantaCon, there's several events each year that keeps happening to us with.
The dilemma is exactly what Commissioner Millington said, it's private property. I can't tell you what day you have a party at your house. Now, take 22, 25 houses and put it in that same area, and everybody wants to have the same party at the same time. Now, there is a court injunction, but there's no enforcement mechanism behind the injunction other than a lawsuit saying that they violated the injunction. So that would be, it would be the responsibility of another private entity, let's say the Fairfield Beach Road Association, to say or appeal to a judge that the Lantern Point Association violated the injunction, and therefore they've been aggrieved for that reason, you know? When the challenge behind that is we are not, it's a civil matter essentially. If we see someone throw something on the floor and they're littering, that's an infraction that we can handle, or trespassing, or minor violations like that. But it's gonna require someone to take this on and file suit against Lantern Point Association if they feel that is necessary, because it's private property.
And probably that abnormally warm weather on Saturday, I'm sure, contributed to a bunch of those people coming out.
Is there any property loophole that we can use, like below the high tide line or anything that goes beyond private and technically is public? Is there anything to that?
So, yeah, the mean high tide line is the public line, which is basically where the seaweed ends up. So, you know, that is where the property becomes private. So, but at the same time, there's Fourth Amendment implications on our officers if we are on someone else's private property or trying to enforce minor violations of law, let's say infractions, for drunken, disorderly, you know, I mean, when there's fights and things like that, you know, we take it upon ourselves to take action on those, because they're crimes against person. It's a challenge.
What if you replace the G-force with police officers, like, you know, let's say Lantern Point hires Fairfield police officers, an extra duty, and think about G-force, because I don't get so much G-force for that. That's too much control.
It's gonna get worse.
I don't think they can do that.
Can you do that?
Well, they can do it for security, but they wouldn't be able to do it for, you know, if I threw garbage on the floor, it's private property, just like you could throw a bottle on your private property if you wanted to.
I'm just thinking of a way to prevent Lantern Point from having, you know, non-Fairfield University kids, you know, which is part of the problem.
The trick with Lantern Point that we keep running into, so we have our two hotspots are Lantern Point and Burke Court. Burke Court is just completely private. So there are no loopholes for students to end up on there. So when the president of Burke Court comes to us and says, we want an officer on the beach end of our road and on the Fairfield Beach Road end of our road, we can do that. We can put officers there, and they've actually even sent us emails thanking us for the presence that we put there, because it solved their problems for them. Now they don't have the vomiting and the urination all up and down the court. The problem with Lantern Point is, what authority do we have to stop a student and say, show me your ID that you belong here, and is this your friend? Did you invite them here? What Lantern Point often asks us to do is send officers into Lantern Point and pull aside students and say, show me your ID, show me your invitation. And we can't do that. So we always encourage them, hire more G-force. You know where your weak spots are on your property. Hire more security guards and put them at those points, because you know that, just like water, the path of least resistance, they're gonna find their way in there. So we've had these circular conversations with them. They were supposed to put up cameras that can take pictures, so that they could follow up with the university later on and violate the students who were there who didn't belong there. But they're not really following through on the things that they can do. But what they ask from us are beyond the scope of our authority.
Any further questions?
Thank you for all the hard work. I know you guys really did a great job down there. We really appreciate it.
And see, this goes task.
Yeah.
Well, we try to take the position of neutrality, and, you know, we have to remember that the students are citizens too. They're residents of this town, just like anybody else, and they have the same rights and responsibilities that any of us do. So they're part of our community, and we have to also respect their constitutional rights at the same time. And sometimes I think that gets lost on people. And while we take measures to ensure that those are followed, it does get lost.
Any other matters?
I'll make a mo-
I've got to, number one, remind the, commission members that December 20th at 6 p.m., we're having a cocktail party sponsored by the police department at the Patterson Club with a lot of the old members of the commission who are going to be there to attend. And then, I'm sorry?
Is it six? Okay.
It's at 5.
I thought I had it at 5.
Okay.
It's 5.
Yeah, early in, early out, you know.
5
It's
to,
football.
5 to 8.
5 to 8, yeah.
Thank you. And our next meeting is January 10th, at 4:30 here. Oh, and Commissioner Fine has just a question with respect to Chick-fil-A, the 520.
So you have that, I'll make it quick, because it'll change the those pylons on the post road, they're gonna be permanent?
So they were removed today. Just something to note, we removed the cones today because we noticed the traffic pattern was kind of working for itself. What we wanted to, accomplish was accomplished. The people kind of understood what we wanted them to do. Just one thing to note, the state DOT drove by it, very concerned that the cones were in the middle of the road, on the post road, telling us that they cannot maintain that status. Little did they know that they were being removed as they were calling them. But they did note that the cones couldn't remain on the post road any longer. So even if we did want to keep that stance, we didn't really have the ability to do so according to the DOT.
But you think it's safe now without the cone?
Yeah, I think so long as Chick-fil-A continues to do what they've been doing, and they've been hiring our officers on the weekends and heavy times, blocking the entrances and exits as we ask them to only exit at a certain point, I think that traffic will flow fine.
But not on Sunday.
Not on Sundays, sir.
So,
And the North Benson Road, the pylons are gone too?
Yes, sir.
do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry?
That's it, okay.
Do you have a question?
No, I'm good.
Is there a second motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's it.
Thank you.